You are listening to Lesson 4, Chapter 2 of Form 5 History. Cameroon General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. Description of the economic crisis of manifestation of the economic crisis. There was a sharp decline in the national budget. The budget for the 1987 to 1988 financial year dropped by almost 20%. The government reduced expenditure on schools, hospitals, etc., leaving them poorly equipped. The salary of civil servants became very irregular. The government cut down the salaries of civil servants twice in 1993 and retrenched some workers. The government reduced expenditure and strictly regulated out-of-station allowances. The government closed down unprofitable commercial enterprises such as weak banks. Unemployment was extremely high from elementary school leavers to university graduates. Internal and external debts were very high. There was widespread poverty in the urban and rural areas. They were declined in the living standard of many people, especially civil servants and farmers. Many farmers found it difficult to sell their produce. Cameroonians changed their habit and they went for cheap food, clothes, etc. Causes of the crisis. Internal. Increase in military expenditure, especially after the April 6 failed coup, in order to train and strengthen the military to ensure political stability. Many civil servants and politicians became kleptocrats. Widespread custom fraud paralyzed the health of the economy. Tax evasion, especially by politicians, which led to dropping in revenue. The ghost town operation of 1991, which caused a lot of social unrest and insecurity, discouraged investors. Civil servants who were very unproductive in the system received excellent pay compared to the average income of average Cameroon citizens. Capital flight, reduction in capital circulation. The presence of many inefficient state corporations regularly demanding state subventions helped to ruin the economy, such as Cameroon, Sotuk, Salukam, etc. The government extravagance in the past helped to kill the economy in. The overconsumption of foreign goods causing a decline in the market for local products, leading to the closure of local base industries. External. The falling price of agricultural products abroad in the 1980s, which severely affected the economy which depended on agriculture. The depreciation of the dollar also fueled the crisis. The devaluation of the CFA in 1994 imposed by the IMF, coupled with the fall of income per capita, the high cost of goods, salary deduction, etc., aggravated the crisis. The structural adjustment program imposed by the IMF led to an increase in petrol prices, taxes, privatization, etc., led to high unemployment. Measures adopted. Reduction in the number of ministries and budgetary allocation and facilities for the ministers. The government reduced the salaries of civil servants and encouraged voluntary retirement, and those with due retirement had to quit. Suppression of social amenities to civil servants like water, electricity, etc. Restructuring and liberalization of the banking sector. The closure of unprofitable state corporations draining the economy of Cameroon. Privatization of the corporations such as CDC, etc., which reduced government expenditure. Operation Antelope was launched, leading to the computerization of civil payroll. A new investment labor code was adopted. Liberalization of the economy invited foreign investors who helped to boom the economy. The government also promoted agriculture through national agricultural extension and training programs. Borrowing from international financial institutions, Western industrialized nations helped to finance projects. The devaluing of the CFA led to increasing exportation. Development of farm-to-market roads, subsidies improved agricultural production. Appointment of the more technical qualified minister on the basis of skills and professional ability increases efficiency. The government increases its fight against embezzlement of state funds, which reduced theft of government resources. The government organized massive recruitment of teachers, nurses, etc. And the reduced unemployment. Effects of the economic crisis. Negative. Economic. It led to a drastic cut of the national budget, which affected the welfare of the Cameroonians. Led to the closure of many banks. It led to deplorable working conditions. It led to job insecurity in Cameroon. The internal and external debt of Cameroon increase. Many people lost confidence in banks and withdrew their savings. It contributed to the devaluation of the CFA in 1994, which worsened the economic crisis. It forced the government to subscribe to the Structural Adjustment Program by the IMF. Social misery and poverty increased. Crime wave increased. Many people became homeless because they could not pay rent. The government drastically reduced scholarships and suspended payments of university allowances. Political. It made the regime of President Biya to be very unpopular and made people miss the old Ahijos days. It made the ruling CPDM unpopular and the formation of opposition parties and inter-party hostility between those for and against the ruling CPDM. It led to frequent changes of ministers in the Biya regime. It led to the victimization of many civil servants with pro-opposition leanings. Positive effects of the economic crisis. It forced the government to restructure the banking sector, leading to much microfinance sector. It led to the organization of many workshops that trained and empower women and youths, especially in the agricultural sector. It led to the development of import substitute factories for the production of rubbing oil, etc. It influences most Cameroonians to adopt family planning, reducing the death rate.